Okay, check this out. They've just brought back the Skeletor chase, which means whilst we're not getting a new collab right now, we do get a free 7-day login champ, which means this could be a really good time to start a fresh account in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's take a look at what we get with Skeletor. So just any player can log in and claim this champion, by the way. It doesn't matter if you're a new player or an existing player. You can jump into the game and start this chase right now. We've seen this champion before. There has been a Skeletor chase in the past, and they've brought him back. Now, if you do want to start a new account with this, click the link in the description and scan the QR code over there. I just did a series where I tried running my Narma login link, which is in the description, alongside the code Fortress, which gives us the Tomb Walking Drang. And now we can get a Skeletor, which is going to be pretty crazy, because if you take a look at this right now, if we go to the index, check this out, right? Knight's Revenant, we have Narma, and we have Walking Tomb Drang, and, believe it or not, Skeletor. So it would be the strongest Knight's Revenant faction war start ever. It would be so insanely good for a quick start and a real good speed run through faction wars. So, like normal chase events, first 6 days, you're going to get some gear. This time, we've got some 5-star perception gear on the first 2 days. And then from day 3 to 6, we do have some 6-star perception. So that could actually be pretty good on any account, to be honest. Whether it's new or old, doesn't really matter. Day 7, we get Skeletor. Is a support legendary. We'll go over the abilities in just a second. Day 8, we get the 100 energy. Could do multi-battles and, you know, the typical stuff, silver, XP, gems. Day 14 is where it starts to get interesting. We get the 2-star perfect soul, and then all we have to do is play every day and log into the game, spend 130 energy, win 10 arena battles, and open 1 shard every day, and then we'll be able to get 5 souls. So we can get a 5-star perfect soul for Skeletor. So this is going to be a really powerful boost to any account, no matter if you're new or a long-term player. Really good stuff. I'm sure a lot of people are a little bit disappointed that they don't have a new collab champ, but this will end on the 22nd of June, so maybe we'll get a collab later on down the line. So let's take a little look at what Skeletor is. So it's a Knight Revenant support legendary champ. The aura is an accuracy aura. Now, that could be useful in a couple areas of content early on, but it's not the biggest of deal. If we take a look at the skills here, we can have a little bit of a look at what he's good at. He's pretty good in some areas of content like Iron Twins. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of 2 random debuffs on the target. Each hit also has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of 2 random buffs on the target by 1 turn. So that could be good for some kind of boss content as well. The A2 attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance of placing a petrification debuff on the target for 1 turn. Also, a 75% chance to place a 50% decrease attack debuff and a 30% decrease speed debuff on the target for 2 turns. So this could be pretty good in some areas of, like, even arena, maybe, right? We got some decreased speed, decreased attack coming in. We've got the petrification. It's also going to be pretty good on, you know, some boss content as well. Now, obviously, all of this stuff is based on HP, so you want to build this guy Tanku with as much speed and accuracy as possible. That's going to be the goal. With the A3, places a 50% increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns, and has a 75% chance to steal any block debuff buffs and 2 other random buffs from each enemy. So you can steal buffs, you can get increased accuracy, so if you're missing out on the accuracy a little bit, doesn't matter, this skill will help you out, and you're going to be able to hit that A2, which is going to be the decreased attack and the decreased speed. So a debuffer and a debuff stealer and a block debuff stealer. So basically, he's going to open you up to be able to put any sort of debuffs you want on the enemies, whether it's bosses or arena, you know. Pretty useful, to be honest, right? It also decreases enemy turn meters by 15%. And if an enemy is from the Talarian League, decreases that enemy's turn meter by 30% instead. So if we take a look at the index really quickly, Talarian League is all of the Bannerlords, High Elves, Sacred Order, and Barbarians. Fun fact, a lot of the sort of freer champions, Alice, Ezio, Arthur, they are all in Sacred Order. barbarians. We have things like Armand. We have Raphael, right? Pretty interesting. Bannerlords, we've got Michelangelo. So it kind of works out against all of the sort of freer champions that have been released and become meta in the early game at the moment. So that's actually kind of handy. If we go back there now, we'll take a little bit of a closer look at his abilities. So we're going to pop in here. Where is Skeletor? One more thing is the passive, Master of Evil. Whenever this champion attempts to place a debuff, steal a buff, decrease an enemy turn meter, decrease the duration of a buff on an enemy, or increase the duration of a debuff, increases champion's X-ray by 20 for each buff on that enemy. So if there's a bunch of buffs on an enemy, and let's be honest, nowadays there always are a bunch of buffs on enemies, this will give you a lot of accuracy, which means you don't have to build too much accuracy to make sure you hit that debuff on the A3. Pretty cool. Now, whenever this champion is hit, has a 50% chance to place a 50% decreased resistance debuff on the attacker for 1 turn as well. So basically, you're reducing the resistance. You don't have to worry about accuracy too much. Just build up a lot of HP, a lot of speed, and a tiny bit of accuracy, and you're going to be able to hit that as much as possible. You're going to be able to get that decreased attack and decreased speed whenever you need it, and the petrification as well. So a really easy champ to build out, which makes it a really nice early game option. As you can see, not high, like super highly rated, but with that 5-star perfect soul, it's going to be a nice boost for pretty much any account out there. I think we were all hoping for like a strong nuker champ on a on a new 7-day login. Maybe that will come down the line a little bit longer down the line. Now, there's also something else to talk about. We do have an update to the Champion Pass. They've brought back He-Man. Now, this one is an Elite Pass, so you do have to purchase it. But, you will get a lot of these rewards as well. And He-Man, he's all right. He's all right. He's in the Sacred Order faction. He's got a speed aura at a 28% speed increase. Pretty good. Master of the Universe increases champion's attack and HP by 5% for each buff placed on this champion. Places a 25% strength buff on this champion for 2 turns at the start of each turn. That's his passive, and he's immune to petrification. So he's sort of like he's the protagonist. Skeletor's the antagonist. And then we have Eternian Slash, attacks one enemy, places an extra hit on enemies from the Corrupted. Also fills his champion's turn meter by 10%. Fills the turn meter by an additional 2% for each buff on this champion. Damage based on attack and HP. Luminous Cleave, attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Will ignore Stone Skin buffs, so that's pretty cool, especially with Stone Skin being pretty meta at the moment. If this attack kills an enemy, fills the turn meters of all allies by 30%. And then we've got I Have the Power. Attacks all enemies. This is an AoE attack. The damage inflicted by the skill increases by 10% for each buff placed on this champion before this skill is used. Stacks up to 500%. Restarts after this skill is used. So pretty cool. And if we take a look at him in the index real quick. So we go here to He-Man. Where is He-Man? He's definitely, a pretty highly rated champ. A lot more highly rated than Skeletor, but he's not free, so keep that in mind. But I think a lot of people would be pretty happy to get their hands on He-Man. He's a pretty cool champion, so that's pretty exciting. What are your thoughts about this? Let me know, and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio!